Heather Hapaz is absent tonight. Ingrid Kohler. Sue Springborn. Nancy Thorson was going to participate by Zoom. Let me see if we have either Nancy or Tim. Okay. All right, yep. Yeah. Where's the second one? Tim?
Hello.
Just mute him though.
Okay.
On one under attendees.
That's Mario.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. So that was. So Nancy's not here yet. I know she's planning on attending, so I'll keep checking for her and circle back. And we have Sarah Zaradka.
Yeah.
Arthur Alvarez. And Tim Cole is. Tim Cole?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Saw me and said, oh, God.
Yeah. Okay. I don't see that you're muted, but we can't hear you. Let me. Tim, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, Tim.
Hello, everyone.
All right, motion to adopt the agenda. Yeah, motion to adopt the agenda.
I make a motion.
Discussion, all in favor, say aye. All opposed. Approval of the minutes. October.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Sarah motion second.
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Just a note that Lisa's gonna have Carrie try to come in January so we can get the agenda, figure out how to get the agenda and the minutes pulled up on our own.
Anyone's having any issues? I know that some people commented.
I sent everybody the walkthrough she gave me. Would it be helpful for me to send it again?
For me, yes. For old Redhead, yes.
I could do that.
Yes, please.
I'll pull it up on screen tonight.
Okay. Perfect.
Is there anybody from the public?
Yes, we have Mario.
Was that the Boy Scout? This is something different. You have to allow.
Yep. I actually promoted him. Hi, Mario. Do you have anything to contribute for the meeting open to the public portion of our meeting?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can now.
Hi, Mario.
Hey, I just heard my name, that's all.
Yes, yes. So we're at meeting open to the public. Are you attending because you have something to contribute, or are you attending just to hear what we have to say tonight?
I am attending just to hear what you guys have to say.
All right.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Good to see all you faces though.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Good to see your pearly whites too, Mario. I owe you a phone call. Sorry, I've been out of town.
That's all right. I'll talk to you soon.
Public hearings? None.
None.
Mission and vision statement draft.
Okay, I'm gonna pull that up.
I like that you have, Laura. Yeah, I'm thinking of a few other important words like inclusive, like effectively inclusive and things like that. Accessible, the ADA stuff.
Okay, so this is a product out of our last meeting where we were asked by our council liaison to put together a mission and a vision so that we could spend the money in our budget. So this is what I proposed. I referenced really, really closely the strategic plan already approved by city council. I believe it's the 2040 plan. And so I sent this all out to you. I would love any feedback that you all have around it. And so I figure we could just talk through the mission right now. And if we need to add, tweak whatever, we can do that.
Is that this document you're talking
Yes.
about?
Yes.
Because this is different from that.
No, this is the first page of
Yeah,
it.
you're not on the first page of-
No, she is. I might have made some tweaks since I
Okay.
sent you this copy, so if you printed it out,
I did.
okay, so I might have tweaked it a little bit
Okay.
since then.
So this is what I have
I
for
sent
the
the
second
first-
page.
I sent the first
Oh.
version, but it's a Google Doc, and so if I went in and updated it, and you printed it before, so I apologize.
Okay,
Um,
so what we have up here is the final
Yep.
for now.
the final proposed, so the North St. Paul Park and Rec Commission acts in an advisory capacity to the mayor, city council, and other agencies and organizations to sustain parklands, preserve natural resources, provide places for all people to gather, play, and engage in activities that spark joy, promote health, well-being, community, and environmental stewardship. So maybe we take it a section at a time and word wizard it as we see fit.
I'd like to see something like either inclusive or accessible,
Okay,
because I know there's a big push. for Previous city councils and current city councils to make sure we're doing ADA. But I didn't want to word it so it was narrowed out.
do you feel like all people is inclusive of
Yeah,
all?
I was talking about that too the other day. And all people, at first I said demographics and I thought, no, it's getting too specific. So all people, yeah.
Mhm. Would you, I mean, I think we could, like, we could go into some more in-depth things, but I don't necessarily know if the mission is the place to do that, because that's like your,
The vision.
that's like your guiding statement, right? Like if we're writing a report, that's our like subject, and then as we move through, we're gonna bring out the more detail. And I do think that we get to some of the inclusivity and the accessibility in like the graph portion towards the bottom.
Okay.
But maybe we
Yeah.
read through the whole thing and we come back and we say, do you feel like all people are still representative of what we're looking for?
Okay.
Does that work? Okay,
Okay, so I'll just keep scrolling down and we'll come back and edit later.
okay, yep. And I don't have to read all of them, so maybe will the public see this recording or should I read it?
No, everything is recorded.
Okay, perfect. So let's take 30 seconds and read it.
Like. Yeah.
Okay.
Especially the listening and responding.
Well, I feel like that's a huge part of what we do, a huge part. And I think it's a testament to how we want to continue to grow and adapt to best serve the community. Will you scroll back up
Yes,
just a little bit?
scroll back up. And there's your accessibility, like, where,
Yeah, okay,
yeah,
thank
it
you.
says all have access to quality. community.
Can you go up just a little bit more?
Mhm.
Okay. Do we feel okay
Um,
about?
Yeah, do we need quality in there, or should we say good quality, or, or just access to community facilities?
Okay, we could definitely add quality.
What?
We could add, is that already in
No,
there?
it's already-
Oh, okay.
So I'm a grammar nerd, and so when I see quality, I want to see either good quality or bad quality. not
Got
just the
it.
Word quality.
Yeah,
So good quality, or do we even just take out quality because it says access to community facilities?
We do want them to be good.
I think to good quality.
yeah, I think we just put good in from there, because,
Yeah.
Okay, which paragraph?
yeah.
1, 2, or
The first
3?
part of the vision overview, the first bullet point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so right here you want to
Yeah.
add, and what are we adding?
Let's stick with good and
Yeah.
overachieve.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Under promise, over deliver.
Exactly.
Some of this isn't excellent, so.
Okay, so we'll move through to the vision over through, oh my gosh, we'll move to the vision overview. I didn't read those bullet points.
Okay, did I go too far?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you develop this, Laura, or did you?
I did my research, with from different parks departments. And then I read through our comprehensive plan and I pulled what I thought we were looking for.
Agreed.
I won't work
Yeah.
doing all the work for everybody. Yes.
The second bullet point is missing a period, or we have to decide if we want periods at the end of all of them. Because 2 and 3 are missing them.
Oh, adaptation, after adaptation.
After adaptation and citizenry,
Yeah.
which is a word I borrowed, not one I keep in my vocabulary regularly.
Yeah.
Technically, we need a comment for what's into if we're going to. and
Yes, yep.
Where do we need a comma?
we would.
Second one.
Well, should it be under?
Oh,
should it be next to-
Now, there's an and there, so we don't need a comma.
Well, Oxford comma does apply, but if you say lakes, wetlands, woods and wildlife, comma, and promote action,
Yeah, 'cause otherwise it's like,
Yeah.
my English teacher is going
Yeah.
crazy.
or we drop the and, one of those options.
Okay. Got a comma there.
And then a period after citizenry. The third. Yep, at the end. And that fourth bullet is directly from the strategic plan.
Does pedestrian friendly need a hyphen between? This is very.
I think it does, yes.
Yeah, it feels like
Mhm.
that should, pedestrian friendly should have a hyphen between those two.
Collective, what is the collectors? I think the arterial thing, freeway train. What's the collectors?
I don't know.
It says local streets, collectors, arterials, and a freeway and train.
And that's copied and pasted from the strategic plan. But I don't know if that's like a,
What to do with the water system?
I think it has to do with transit.
yeah,
Okay.
I think it's growing from small to big.
Yeah, local streets,
Yeah.
collectors, and
Like it.
arterials.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that, is that to say, and freeway and transit?
It should say arterials, no A, there should be a comma after freeway,
Oh,
and then transit.
so get rid of the
Yep.
And a comma here.
At least I would practice an Oxford comma. I know it's,
Is that part of our deal though? The streets and collectors and freeways?
the pedestrian friendly sidewalks and trails, yes.
Right.
And I think that there was an overall vision, or there is an overall vision of making our city really bikeable. And so like connecting the gateway into the community. So I don't necessarily know if it's us specific or it's us feeding into like the overall vision of the city,
Okay.
but I don't know if that's our responsibility or just something like we're kind of contributing to.
Okay. They keep it, they
Maybe
keep
along the
us,
side.
the city council keeps us included. Whoever recalls, 3-4 years ago, 15 down, I think it was 15 down, they wanted to put sidewalks in. I put sidewalks down the road and there was this big controversy, but they did involve us in what do we think, whether we need to have these sidewalks there. And they asked us, city council asked us for input in how they would connect to different parts.
Okay.
As it was, it never went through, but they did ask us for input on it.
Okay.
When I was reading this, or when you first sent it,
Mhm.
that was my main objection was like, ooh, do we want to talk about sidewalks? Because sidewalks are such a controversial thing and they're really not our responsibility or we have no power over them, but we can, like Lloyd is saying, but we can be consulted. But I originally was like, ooh, I don't know if we want to put anything up. We can talk about promoting sidewalks, maybe,
Mhm.
but I don't want to like appear to be a body that makes decisions about sidewalks. Because
The
that
only-
just seems like a can of worms.
But we did make decisions about sidewalks with Casey Road and the building and accessibility, so it's not out of the question to say that that's part. We had to talk about that for, I don't know, that side, you
Yeah.
know what I mean, like, no, the city streets sidewalks, but to me, I feel like you're looking at this in a bubble of parks. So to me, I would look at this and say, okay, we're looking at these items as they relate.
Okay, great.
So Rotary Park, like, we would think about these things here, you know, to me, that's what I would see it. I don't think this means that we are responsible for, you know,
All the
Salvi
city
Avenue
sidewalks.
sidewalks,
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
no, I
That's
don't
great,
think- yeah.
because I
That's
originally
right.
thought it was a broader thing, so.
I think it more reaches, like you said, Sarah, it reaches more towards how is it going to connect with the parks? How is it going to affect the parks? And I know if they ever put a trail around Silver Lake, I'm sure they'll want our input just to get our input.
Do we want to then, just as an idea, achieve a functional, aesthetic, and balanced park system, which includes pedestrian friendly sidewalks, trails, local streets, collectors?
I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's a good,
Yeah.
that puts you in that
'Cause then
bubble
it-
that
then
you
it
were
Yeah.
talking about.
Narrows us down. to-
Yeah.
We care about the sidewalks
Yeah.
for the park. Okay.
It also makes me, sidewalks in my mind also includes paths. So like the paths
Me
that we're
too.
talking about to like cut from playgrounds and stuff. So I don't,
Well, and you have that sidewalks and trails,
yeah,
you know, you have that in there.
I like the idea of adding parks right before system. Yeah,
I like that.
That narrows it down to our
yeah,
area of influence.
yep.
Good point.
But like you said, really right out of the bigger picture comprehensive plan, so that's. really
Yeah.
good.
Because I think anything we do from here on in is there's gonna be accessibility with trails.
Sure.
Like Polar,
Totally.
we
Yep.
had to talk several times about how we were gonna lay out that access to it, whether we're gonna go all the way through or we just gonna
Yeah.
go partially to the playground and be done with it, so.
Okay. Do we feel okay moving to the vision
Yeah.
in detail? Okay. Let's just do the paragraph and then 1 through 6, pause, talk through that, and we'll move to the next page.
Do we know what the common themes are?
Without reading them.
Is that the bottom?
1 through
Oh,
6
yes,
are the
okay,
common
okay.
themes. And this I read through the themes that came out of the cafes, I can't remember, like community cafes where they brought everyone together. And so I pulled out the relevant park ones from all of those and put them in here. One thing that comes up for number 3 is the sidewalks again, like maybe we need to clarify the parks piece like we just did.
Yeah.
Park
Yeah.
sidewalks
Yeah,
need to be more prevalent.
yep,
Or mention of connecting parks or something like that. I think that was an issue.
I think we had a long conversation with this about that, because I remember talking about how we're gonna connect. We're gonna be a gateway to places like over by Richardson
mhm,
and so forth.
Is that what you wanted, Ingrid? Just insert
yeah.
parks before sidewalk?
Yeah, park,
park sidewalks,
yeah.
To the west.
yeah,
And then maybe walking trails around parks and lakes.
are a great idea.
Or just should be promoted or
Yeah.
Yeah,
that might be.
Is encouraged or.
Yeah. Walking trails around the parks and lakes are encouraged.
Encouraged to expand accessibility.
All right, let's see if I can get that straight through on there. Ooh, my mouse.
You guys there.
So,
She was at that community cafe. She was.
I thought you specifically.
And that was her being quoted at that meeting, which I put in here.
so we're gonna X off.
Just wanted to ask you, walking trails and sidewalks.
Everybody goes, "Where's
needs to be
this
more
gas station?
prevalent.
We want to put a park." The
And
Should be promoted. Maybe it should be
something
promoted.
connect.
Okay, so then right here, I do should be
So-
promoted.
Hold on one second. Sue has an idea about, oh, you finish what you're writing and then we'll add.
It just seems kind of a little clumsy.
It is, yep, because it's just like notes from
Yeah,
a meeting.
Yeah, that's why I was saying if you have walking trails and sidewalks,
Mhm.
need to be more prevalent and connect to each other and parks or something like that.
Oh, what are you talking about right now?
Walking.
What if we drop the second sentence and we said, walking trails, parks and sidewalks need to be more prevalent and connected to each other?
Oh, you mean just.
Like put
That's the
the
only
things that
sentence.
we're referencing
Yeah,
up at the front.
yeah.
So completely rewriting the 3 into 1 sentence.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Sidewalks, walking
Walking
trails.
trails and sidewalks need to be more prevalent and connected to each other and parks or something like that. Parks.
Oh, wait, so, oh.
Set it great the first time.
Yeah. So Lisa, you would strike off basically strike off everything after sidewalks. So after the first word, number 3, you'd strike it all and then into the sentence. Right? 'Cause it's
Oh, no, I
sidewalks,
think she's
comma,
saying
walking
just
trail.
take walking trails, stick it up in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walking trails
just
and
walking trails,
sidewalks.
Sidewalks and, blah, blah, blah. or
Just
walking trails and
strike out-
sidewalks need to be more prevalent.
Strike out the whole sentence and we'll write a new sentence after it.
Yeah.
Some of the words are confused, but
Yeah.
it's a brand new sentence.
I don't even have a mouse.
that,
Yeah.
we're not inserting that, but we are going to strike through this. Not working.
Got it. Her strike through isn't working.
Sidewalk, sidewalks.
Carrie, I love that. No.
Sidewalks, what about 'em?
Okay.
Okay, so we are gonna say
He's gonna go, huh?
sidewalks.
Insert text right there, sidewalks,
Sidewalks. Comma. Walking trails.
Like trails, the trails,
Oh, let's drop walking and just write trails.
trails.
Did you want to put parks before sidewalks? Or that's what we did?
Oh, I was gonna say sidewalks, trails, comma, parks need to be more prevalent and connected to each other,
Well, that sounds like we want to have more parks.
which we do.
Yes, I do.
So.
sidewalk trails, comma,
Oh, I'm on board with your other count.
Sidewalks, trails, and parks. Let's get it in one sentence and then we can debate if we want to take out and parks. Need to be more prevalent and connected to each other.
We can justify that because this is what we're given to us. So this is- we're just.
Yep.
Passing on.
Exactly.
Downtown park is actually in the 2040. plan. I know, because I was on the 2040 committee. I may surprise you, but I've just been infiltrating myself into every.
Yeah, I was
thing
like,
that decides.
Okay,
Keep it up.
Oh, mouse, and the cheese.
We're gonna have to, we got all these buildings.
number 4
What
talks about what
happened?
we just talked about, didn't it?
Yeah.
okay.
Let's
Then
just,
we'll just, do you want to just strike 3 and just scooch them all up?
I'm gonna delete
no, we
that.
just wrote an excellent number 3 sentence.
Sorry. Maybe, I don't know.
Sidewalks downtown need to be more prevalent and connected to the downtown park. On this,
No, because the downtown park is number 5.
Should we drop number 4?
Yeah.
Let's just
Yeah.
get rid of 4.
We could say something like connection to the Gateway Trail could be encouraged by, like, something like that, but maybe we just leave it out. We don't-
Because we can do that, right?
Yeah.
We don't have to,
Yeah.
what did we say, under promise?
Are we trying to say, like, not have too much in this? Because those seem like separate. They're kind of connected.
What seems separate to you? I'd love to
So,
hear.
so 4 seems like we're trying to connect, also use to connect the city also,
Mm,
not just the parks.
Okay,
Yeah, that's why I think we really need to be.
So 4, is that our, so you're saying that's really not our thing? So we shouldn't have 4 in there?
I don't think we need 4 in there.
No, I don't. Here's my thought is that because the gateway. That's hard. I mean, I know it's kind of a park, it's a trail, but it almost feels like the connections that need to come from that are almost more city driven, because that's where I think we're getting into actual sidewalks, street led bike trails, which we can't really at the moment control. I don't think it's invalid because I think but I know part of the comprehensive plan is to make the gateway more of a destination for signage and stuff into downtown, which I think they can take on, and we just say, if we can connect stuff there, it's great, but I think if we do this, then we could be held accountable for trying to make sure that when we do things that it goes back to that, which I worry about a little bit.
Okay.
Because we only have
The
the
Gateway
Rotary,
Trail's
we
not
only
our
have
thing.
Rotary Park.
I mean, it's a.
The
it's a
Gateway
state
Trail is the
trail.
DNR.
Yeah,
So that's not, we don't.
No.
say so.
no, so,
But we could
but
like
it
paths to it.
totally, because it's an awesome resource, right?
Yeah, we do have a path, we do have a park on it.
Right, right. Okay.
I think that's one of those things where we work towards it, but we don't outright state it. Like, if it happens, it's a bonus.
Sure.
I like how bold number 5 is. I don't know that I said that, I don't
no,
have,
I like
the
it.
grammar would be worse if I.
Let's just say,
I think that is completely straightforward and says what it needs to say.
I totally agree.
And do we add, just a thought, do we add due to the increased
Oh, I like that.
population?
Yeah.
of the area due
Density.
to current or new
Yeah.
development?
Put that in front of it.
increased population density.
Is needed downtown due to the increased population due to a recent development. Housing.
Should we
You could say
start with that
open
as the
space.
obvious? Like,
Well,
here's an obvious thing, and because of that, a park or activity space is needed downtown.
So due to increased population density, a park or activity space is needed downtown.
Right.
Yeah.
in the vicinity.
Right, obvious, universal.
Population and density.
Population density. Yep.
Oh, yeah. And then.
And then-
blocks that all.
Perfect. I didn't know about any of those populations.
What-
So we got that before all that.
McKnight's kind of,
Park wise, you mean?
park wise, what
Housing.
is,
Housing is the closest.
house is the closest part?
McKnight's gonna become a splash pad. It's gonna be awesome. Okay,
Okay, number 6. You say it's not that it comes through in the city.
I will will it to happen.
I'm all for that.
Maybe strike number 6.
It gets at what we were talking about in 3,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it's again, something we're shooting for, we're hoping for. But
There are a lot of roughly ending sidewalks, so not that anything to do with
Because, but-
parks,
but we
but it is
can't
kind
make
of funny.
it up, that's
Yeah.
not-
right, and we don't want to make it seem like we can,
Right.
like you
It's
were
not our
saying.
circle.
Yep.
Because this 2040 plan was done before the great sidewalk debate.
Oh, I
We
think
should
there's
call
been
it
a sidewalk
off.
for years and years. Many.
Okay.
I pounded the pavement
Literally.
with having people sign to get them on our street. And we had them already, but it was a controversy.
Which street were you on? I remember all
Oh,
that.
no, that was a different part
That
of
was a
it.
different,
Yeah.
oh, okay. I remember that one on.
I left number 7 because lakes have become such a
Yeah.
big top point of our conversations. that I want it to be known that it's something that we're continuing to look towards, but specifically water quality for the points that you brought up last month. For the water quality of the lakes are phenomenal right now. They just don't look the way that people want them to or previously had. Because our goal ultimately is, at least in my opinion, water quality. But I know that that is controversial as well.
Water
Well,
quality
I think also
is controversial.
water quality and use of the lake is also, you know, that kind of ties into our overarching goal, which is to get people in parks using them. So like water quality and I think it needs to, you know, we need to also talk about like the use of the lake. So like,
Yeah,
if it's full of weeds and the water quality is great, and it's just all weeds, then nobody's swimming at the beach. And
Yes.
that's not like working with
right.
our main objective.
So didn't Tim say that, like, we're talking about water quality and water aesthetic? So
Yeah.
like maybe water aesthetic needs to be added to that because that is what's enraging a lot of citizens and that
Yeah.
gives people from
Mhm.
swimming and
Mhm.
bike, kayaking or whatever.
Yeah, and it affects water quality, or I mean,
So water quality.
Property values.
thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
So as a sentence, when I read that, it's like water quality,
it's not,
and then it just kind of,
it's not an actual.
right.
It's not a sentence, yeah.
Yeah.
It aspires to be a sentence.
Right. Water quality what?
Yeah.
I
What
personally
about-
think we should only be addressing, the water quality of the recreational
Oh,
water.
yeah, fair.
Because I don't think the drinking water is our
Oh, no.
business.
What if we said recreational water quality and aesthetic?
There you go.
What about?
And then what about?
They're important. Are important.
Too good. Throw it in. Okay, yeah, no, I think that's a great start.
The water quality.
I think it's a recreational.
Where did they come to when Casey Lake was starting to go? Along. It came here.
Because it's
It
a
came
park.
to the park. It came to the park commission.
Water quality and
Aesthetic.
aesthetic.
So we may not think it.
AST.
People are gonna think, oh, okay, it's in the park.
Yeah.
Just use the, I feel like you should know how to spell aesthetic because of your job.
Team.
You could take the third one down.
Spelling doesn't.
So that wasn't right?
No, it's AST. Why did name PDF sucks? Just
Isn't it AEP?
A's,
Yeah, I think there's an E. AESTHETICS.
E.
What, that's right. Am I name? That's it.
Okay, so we have water quality and aesthetics.
Water quality and aesthetics are important.
I think that's fine. Sue does not approve of that sentence.
Well, I think, I don't know, should we say, something about working with, residents to help resolve issues? Should we?
I would
Not
say more
water
like
quality.
they are important to maintain and watch, or watch isn't the right word, but observe, maintain, uphold, something like that.
And how does it play?
And aesthetics,
To have it as a priority, to continue to do better, what's one word that says all that?
Have it as a priority.
Something like all these ideas are trying to get, like, they're wordy, but it's that thing of, we wanna watch it, we wanna keep it doing better, we wanna.
So
Uphold.
Monitor.
recreational water quality and aesthetics are a priority.
should be
Should be a priority.
recreational water quality and aesthetics. Should be a priority.
Yeah.
And monitor, yeah.
And monitoring.
And monitor. Okay.
We've made sentences.
Yay, us. Okay, let's
Should be,
let that.
well, I guess if you're gonna be consistent, we should say prioritize and monitor. Or,
Oh, there
yeah,
you go.
prioritize.
There you go.
It would be almost making it sound like that.
No, let's just continue with what we're doing.
Tell us, Mario.
He's sleeping.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let me see if there's anything.
Did somebody say my name?
We were just joking to see
Oh,
if you
you-
were still there.
We just said that you get all this.
Oh, I'm listening, definitely. I know how to spell aesthetics as well. I like it. It's very important to me, water quality and aesthetics on Casey Lake and Silver Lake.
Okay,
I'm glad we added aesthetics.
all right.
Okay, let's just read the paragraph after 7. And then we'll move into the graph.
So we're actually
Table.
striking all of this, aren't we?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me to do that.
I don't know where there are hyphens in those words, so we'll change them. Everything is very hyphen, eccentric.
Parks, open space, trails, and that.
Yeah, we'll have to get the hyphens out of there. Goal specific to parks, comma, open space trails.
Yeah.
So we gotta get rid of the common, insert a,
Yeah, there is a height.
I can become-
Yeah, what's the resilience thing?
That's part of that's from the comprehensive plan. So these graphs or these tables that are in here, each one of those things that's referenced in the sentence, the paragraph above, has its own graph in the comprehensive plan.
So my question would be, do we need that? Or is that what we stated at this point enough? I mean, I know you pulled it from the right place, but I'm just wondering if like less is more in this case, like.
Yeah, I think that's totally fine.
And maybe we just don't even need the themes, like maybe we just end at the last one, it's like, I feel like that covers. our readers.
I like the last sentence as a transition. I don't know if people would be open to keeping that.
Because you want to be able to list these goals.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So,
or some version of it, basically like, okay, so we said whatever this is called the comprehensive plan, the vision. And so this is how we're gonna apply the vision more specifically in asking these questions. So maybe it doesn't have to be from that paragraph, but we have some sort of transition from the vision into the,
And we need a few.
well, you basically, I'm just trying to say, bottom line is that when making decisions, we're gonna try to follow these guidelines.
yeah,
That were set up for the
yes.
city. So maybe just say, just like.
Strike the whole thing.
Strike everything except that this last sentence, when making decisions regarding parks. The St. Paul Park Commissioners, will try to adhere to the following goals and guidelines. Yeah, something like that.
okay, so I will strike through this here.
No, we
We'll
say
ask,
We'll strive, because that sounds
Yeah, yeah.
fancier than try.
Strive, I like. When making
Okay.
decisions regarding the park. The St. Paul Park Commissioners.
Will strive to adhere to these goals and guidelines, is that what you said?
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say it here because that means you have to.
They will try.
Will strive
Right.
To
To
follow.
uphold or to
Ooh.
follow,
uphold that, you know.
Oh, cool.
uphold vision.
What No, I told the following, because we're gonna list them down below. The following.
Goals. Away from no agendas, huh?
Can you add, Lisa, can you add, when making decisions about the parks, there's something like that, because I think we're making decisions.
Okay, let me get this one finished and then we'll go back to that.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yep.
Goals? Okay, and then making decisions. And then you want to insert that.
Regarding the parks, maybe that's assumed, but.
Okay, insert text.
You don't want to
Nothing's
assume,
assumed. Yeah.
you know what happens.
Remember sidewalks.
And no downtown parks.
The gas station. but can't be used as a park. And
There's a
right
gas
beside-
tank, somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
We have
me.
that- but I don't know, like the EPA, I'm like, there's gas tanks in there, you could-
Oh, I'll read that. Yes, there's a car dealer.
Just like a gasoline themed playground.
We're just gonna lean right into it.
Petroleum park.
Our downtown park. We're not even gonna put dairy. You know what? Bring your kids, they'll be fine.
We survived eating that.
We survived.
Okay, all right, we needed that, but we're back. Okay, when making decisions about the parks, North St. Paul Park Commissioners will strive to uphold the following goals.
Are we parking rec commissioners? We're just park commissioners.
We're park commissioners. Yeah.
What happened? It's supposed to be there.
Well, there's a little pointer. Oh,
Oh, okay, do this.
I will strive to uphold the following goals.
Well, at least we're gonna miss you.
He's not gonna miss us.
I'm not gonna do that.
I'm done with these 18 committees.
Only 6.
All right.
We used to be the funnest, so I don't know if we still are.
I think we had a rough year.
We
had a
did
rough
have a
year.
rough
We're gonna
year.
come back next year.
You know why? Because
Jill
we have
will be very
simple,
happy.
practical request right here to turn it all around.
And I have the draft for the park improvement plan.
Heck,
tonight.
yes, you do. Good job. Okay.
And make
Can
things
you
happen.
cross off at least, that bottom line?
Oh, yeah.
2022 is the year. Splash that on down.
Let's see, at least,
If we call it Petroleum Park, I'm sure we could get some big oil funding.
I just,
Petroleum.
I did, I just had a pivot.
What?
Why can't we put this park you want right next to the museum?
I don't know.
The splash pad?
Yes,
You mean the second Veterans Memorial or the first
the
one?
old Veterans Memorial
Yeah.
that nobody wants to take care of, and so I am.
Wait. Are we talking, wait.
Where the
Not the
cannon is.
splash pad,
Oh, where the
not a splash
cannon
pad. The
It's just
downtown park
Well,
or,
that'd be a great idea for our snowman people.
yes,
Is there room?
I don't know. I gotta look at that. I mean.
we'll have to go
at
look.
Is that
Rumors
downtown?
have been-
Is that
rumors have
downtown
been-
enough? I'm not
Oh,
trying to
don't
be-
get in there.
It's better than no, I
Better
mean,
than
it's
no
not
park.
any further than
just want that.
Petroleum Park. At least it would be.
You know, you guys are having so much fun. that I'm just gonna
Well, I had to say something because it
Yeah.
just popped in my head.
Well, I mean.
I like Petroleum Park though.
All right, let's look at it.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry.
Good idea.
Okay, this should be,
Not having in here though?
There's that.
Lisa, can you look into that?
and there's bathrooms in
I
the
missed
museum.
that.
You don't need.
Tell her, Lisa.
Okay. Rein it in, everyone.
Lisa, here, you got an idea for Petroleum Park.
Make a sprinkler.
It's a tunnel, a petroleum tunnel park.
That'd be so fun.
It's like Mario Brothers. All right, let's go, let's go through those graphs or those tables though.
Okay,
Do we still want the tables? That's what we're saying. Well, I think we need to.
I Yeah, I think the way that they structure it to like the questions that we're asking are, yeah.
I think these are good.
This is copy pasted.
from the comp plan.
Yes. And there's that gateway connection.
Compliance with ADA requirements. Great, done. Yeah,
Well,
yeah. Those are good.
Okay, cool.
This is not going down.
This is resilience in the environment.
And then we still get to argue about reduction of sidewalk gaps. That's okay.
Yeah.
From the resilience to climate change to climate change mitigation.
So we did it. We have our graph.
Very good.
Yes, we
Well
do.
done.
Mhm.
Ready to scroll?
Yeah. keep going.
So now I see a mural on the side of the new.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, we're gonna
There we go.
shells and everything else.
Welcome to the excitement of the downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Why not two parts? We got.
Well, we are promoting the whatever prominence, or I can't remember what word we use,
Well, see.
Yeah.
Prevalence.
Yes.
of more parks.
Structure, what about citizen?
Oh, I didn't want to do that. Fire pager.
I'm so freaked out. We had a lockdown.
Oh, my, too late, about a week and a half.
Yeah, so we all, I'm on high alert.
There were 2 squads there today. But that was last Tuesday, wasn't it?
Can you scroll up to what the top, what are we looking at with this bubble? What is?
No.
Okay,
We'll talk
community
after the
engagement,
meeting.
Okay.
What is in the, oh, is.
Community engagement.
We all there.
Community events to improve.
You know, like some.
Where does,
Well, the seal people.
oh, I see. Does this action help communicate with everyone in the community?
Mhm.
Do we want to task ourselves to actually do volunteer appreciation events? Seems like a lot. I know the park commission, I know Deb would do that for people, but like as a
No, we don't wanna
commission,
do that.
we probably don't.
No, so you can, it's the second bullet up from the bottom in the third column. Oh, so go up one more. I'm sorry, it's the third. Yep, strike that.
This one?
Yep.
Oh, community?
Mhm.
Thank you, Mr. Rocca.
Yeah.
Well done.
She's looking at this to-do list. Yeah.
Did do it.
Hey, who remembers all the wooden pointers that teachers used to have? They're about this long.
And when the new city manager comes in, I'm thinking he may do some restructuring.
Oh,
With just adding different positions and support. I have no idea. I'm just wondering if that might
Be
happen.
like a Parks and Rec person.
full time or part time?
Well, it would be part-time, but there's just a void. But I don't know. I can't say. But every commission needs support. And-
Well, especially because Maplewood cut their department. Maplewood Parks and Rec department got cut.
They did too. Yeah.
Yeah, like they don't exist anymore.
Yeah, because we have the commissions, but we don't have the internal support. So I'm thinking that something might be done. I don't know. I'm guessing.
Is there a new city manager
Yep,
coming?
yep.
Cool.
Oh, who?
Oh, no, it hasn't been decided yet, but
Oh.
by December, there
Oh,
will be. Yeah, so I don't know what the future holds after that. So
well, this is at least checking the box that we needed to check. Yep. Yep. So are we okay calling this good and moving on to our next thing?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, that's a recommendation, correct?
yes.
all right. Oh, Tim, did you have something to say?
Did I know? Mario put in a chat that is it possible to share the screen / document that you're currently revising?
so what are you seeing? I am sharing my screen, but,
So I see you, my name and Mario's name in a box.
oh, so you're not seeing the full screen. Okay,
Correct.
that's the wrong one.
You have it set up as a double monitor.
You look
Um,
lovely tonight, by the way.
After my long day. Thank you. All right, let's see.
I think we can save it and put it in the chat, right?
Let's see. I don't even know what to do here. Share screen. Oh, yeah, we will do this one. Okay. Better?
Well, now you get to
Rock
see
star,
them.
thank you.
Sorry.
Okay.
Appreciate you.
Yep, and this is also included in the packet if you wanted, I should say a hard copy, but you'd have to print that, but you can get it electronically if you wanted to mark it up or make your own notes or anything. It is in the packet.
There's a vision.
So, and then what is below transportation?
You saw the word sidewalks, didn't you?
No, I was just wondering if this was the end.
No, I saw the word collectors.
Transportation, I think we've already said.
Do we have
Oh.
any?
No, I would get rid
No.
of that sidewalk gap.
The what?
Yeah.
Do we have any? I mean, is this our area of influence?
I think,
Or again, we're just limiting this to the parks?
yeah,
Right
so I would get rid of that one and then get rid of that.
Because reduction in sidewalk gaps for the city is not our,
No, it's not.
no, we don't have
We don't do that transit ridership either.
We don't, measurement of stormwater runoff.
I think we do have to pay attention to that in the parks. though.
from roads and yards.
Good point.
That is not, yeah.
So, you know,
Should we just get rid of this whole thing?
I don't think it's.
Yeah, well, I think we've already stated all of these ideas earlier.
Great.
We want to promote, health and bicycling and,
Yeah.
alternative transportation and stuff. We've already
Scratch the whole thing.
What do you think, Tim?
need more chairs.
We could, there's one thing that I remember from one of the earlier park plan things, and that was this opening statement, which really was, it was kind of the big why we're doing all of this, and it really was saying, the parks, and it was talking about the importance of parks to a community, like, just how they're important for not only the livability of the people in the community, but also attracting people to our community, and making the community just viable and just like a place people want to come in and live. So is there anything like that in the beginning of ours that just is like, yay, rah, rah, this is why, like, yeah, just saying, this is why we think parks are so important to our community. Because I remember being kind of surprised by this, like, because before I was on the Park and Rec, I was thinking parks are nice, but it wasn't until I got on the Parks Commission that I was like, oh, this is a really important part of selling a community. Like, look at Casey Park, look at that park draws people from, it's a regional park. And it kind of puts us on the map. I just want to say something about the importance of parks to. It could.
What about in the promise to the community that Laura has on there? Do you think that fulfills what you're looking to say?
Because there is going to be an expansion of what you're talking about in the park plan. Because you're talking about that like first page, right?
Yeah.
Of the park plan, or at least I assume we're
Do
going
you
to
want
look
me
at
to
that.
pull
agenda.
that up?
Yeah, so I wonder if the
Yeah.
two together
Okay.
get at what
Yes.
you're looking for.
No, sorry.
No, it's
I
a
think
good,
you're
that's a good thing to
I just want to make sure that is, the big why is also a part of what we're
Mhm.
saying.
I've been involved in several things about parks in the past. One, I was involved in a number of years ago, probably 15 years ago, in doing a vision for Ramsey County. And I was on the park one. And one of the things that was brought up to me then, up to us then, and myself when I was finishing my bachelor's degree, was that a healthy, it's for the health of the community. I don't know if there's any way we could put that health piece in there, but healthy communities have parks. And it's a very important thing for, I don't necessarily mean just physical health, I mean mental.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't,
Well, I
I think we should have a park plan and see.
That goes along with it, that kind of goes.
Yeah.
hand in hand. I think that, yeah, I think that goes hand in hand with what I'm talking about.
And it does say promote health and well-being in the
Ah.
mission.
oh, there you go. Yep, there you go.
So we good with this?
Okay.
Are we, any
Sure, yes.
objections to just moving forward with this? Okay,
Can we are we making a formal recommendation that it gets brought to city council? Do we have to?
we probably should.
Okay.
Let's do that, make it official. Oh, wait a minute, now this is homework though. They asked us to do this, right?
Tim suggested we do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
that was it.
Present it.
Or I would say, let's just make a recommendation.
Do we want to present this though with the park plan? like
I
together?
think it could almost be included in the
Yeah,
park
yeah.
plan.
Tim is raising his hand.
Okay. All
Yes,
right,
this is
Tom,
good,
Tim,
yeah.
let's see.
This is fun. I get to hit buttons. Yeah, we'll roll this into the park plan and then it'll all roll up as the one document. This was what WSB said we were missing.
Okay. So we don't need a recommendation then.
Cool.
Okay.
That's my, okay. We good?
I guess my recommendation, Lisa, can you email this to Morgan?
Yes. And I have the first draft of the park improvement plan. And what I'd like to do is include all revisions in that, which would also include this. From here, I think we need to go, well, I do know that the planning commission needs to review it. So before WSB edits the comments that are added from the park and rec, I'd like the planning to add theirs in addition. And then WSB will only have to make the corrections. They'll only have to touch it once. And then it can hopefully go to council in December.
So there's corrections that need to be made in the plan that Morgan sent out. So I would love for a couple of people on the park and rec to go through it first.
If that has to happen, then it won't get approved. It won't go to council in December.
It probably won't go to council in December
Okay,
because this was what I was told is this will be a workshop.
okay.
So, and we've got our workshops are booked between now and the end of the year.
Okay. And that makes sense because I do know that there were changes made in the priorities and in the budget. And there was an explanation provided for that. But I do know that there will be some changes requested by the Park and Rec Commission.
Yeah, so I would love for just a couple people to go through it because Housy Park was one of them where it listed the building. It listed all the structures in the park and it listed building and it didn't know when it was built. The next slide says we just rebuilt it in 2018. So I mean, there's some stuff there that just can get cleaned up. Morgan didn't know when he went through it.
Okay,
So,
yeah, so we won't go in depth with it tonight then, I'm assuming?
right, I would share it if a couple of people want to, take a look at it. And they can bring it back or send it back, or if everybody is comfortable with, just a couple of people in the group looking at it on behalf of Park and Rec, it's entirely up to the commission.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's,
Tim, you mentioned you and me and whoever else
Okay, I'm gonna make a list so that we can get the committee put together. I will remove this from the planning commission meeting agenda, which is for December 2nd. So we'll remove it from there.
And I guess I scratch my head as to why the planning commission meeting needs to approve the parks plan and vision.
That was questioned and it did, Terry Furlong did indicate that yes, all of this needs to go through the planning commission.
All right,
So I do have a question. I don't know, as far as the committees go, do you have to have a quorum in order to make decisions?
I don't think if you're doing edits, no.
I'll probably have to check on that because there's been some conflicting information on, two or more people discussing business. So I can find out about that
As
and,
long as you don't have a quorum, you can discuss business. You can. you can-
no. If you have a quorum, you can discuss business. If you don't have a quorum, you can't.
If you don't have a quorum, you can have a committee and a committee can bring its recommendations forth to the commission.
Okay, I'll just double check with Soren.
So what I'm doing with the community center, Lisa and I are on a committee. So Soren built it. So if you want to check with him, that's fine.
Okay, okay, that sounds good. So we have yourself and Lloyd. Does anybody else want to volunteer
For the park plan?
Wait,
for the committee?
what's going on? Are we saying that we need to form a separate committee to go through the park plan? To then bring it back to the commission, to then bring it to the planning commission, to then bring it to city council?
No one in that room outside of Lisa has read what's been produced that I'm aware of.
Correct.
That's why
I
it's
just
on
got
our
it this
agenda.
morning.
It's on our agenda for this meeting.
Right, so I mean, it's 7:30. If you guys can, if you want to go through it. Or if you want to split it up into a smaller group and let those make the obvious things, everybody can read it. It's entirely up to how you guys want to handle it. I'm just looking at conservation of time.
Is he talking about the park plan?
Yeah,
But feel free to go, if you guys want to go through it, and make all the
Go
edits
without the
tonight,
park
feel
plan,
free.
but they've now just decided that it's a document together.
I think
And
it
we've just been told that it won't happen before the beginning of the year.
So this is part of the park plan. And the park plan has been changed or revised.
we have the first draft of the park plan.
I think what it's
The
saying is
priorities that were set forth were deviated by a little bit, and the reason being, actually, I'm gonna pull up the email, is I knew there would be questions.
How
Okay,
long is the park plan?
it's 66 pages. So the reason that she deviated from what the Park and Rec Commission had proposed is stated right here. And I do believe that the Planning Commission is on board with this as well, to approach things at the high level rather than picking up piece here and there. Tim, would you?
Oh, are you there? Hello? Did I lose ya? Hello?
I can hear you.
Can you hear them?
No,
All right.
they dropped out, it seems like.
All right. Shoot Lisa a text. Oh. All right, I can see you now. But I can't hear you. Can you hear me? There we
Okay,
go.
sorry, I didn't mean to mute.
Both Mario and I were,
Actually, you
Mario and
did.
I were having a great conversation.
So my
Okay.
question is, so they came back and said they need to deviate that. Can we then as a commission say, actually, no, we want X, Y, and Z, even though that's what WSB is saying?
Well, what I'm proposing is that review this, tell me what changes you want to see. We will send that to the planning commission. They will in turn add their comments. WSB will then combine all those comments in addition to Carrie made comments that she wanted some grammar changes. And then WSB would put together the final to be presented to council. I don't know who has authority over what. What I can tell you, as disappointing as it is to know that WSB did deviate, but as you can see, the reasons were very valid why they did. You know, they're licensed professionals. They're advising, they're giving advice and a statement of why they're advising for the changes that they're recommending. So
Wondering why we exist.
Okay, let's not get too far in the weeds. So our next plan of action is we have to form a subcommittee that's gonna just look at this and.
that's what Tim is recommending, but it's leaving it up to you guys to decide if you want to go through it tonight and keep the ball rolling, or if you want.
This is
No, I'll join the committee to go through stuff.
I will too. So can we get I like hard dates, so can we
Yeah.
do this before the Christmas break so that then those recommendations can be sent so that we can be on a council workshop beginning in January? Is that
It wouldn't be beginning January because it would have to go to planning first.
When does planning meet next?
early December.
December 2nd. So if we don't do this tonight,
Okay, if we get
then-
to, can we not do it?
Can we get it
early next
to-
week? I mean, Thanksgiving's on Wednesday.
but don't you have to come back to this commission to propose? Yes.
Whatever we change, we're gonna have to come back here and go, okay.
So unfortunately, it's the
Right
politics.
now we have a quorum. Right now we can make a
So we
decision.
can do this tonight.
There's no way we're doing this
Yeah, I
tonight.
know,
We're
yeah.
not doing,
Well, that's fine.
Where do we want to go with this?
All in all, you're still going to have your park improvement plan completed when, you know, spring comes along and you're actually able to do things.
So when is the next planning commission after December? When's the January planning commission?
We don't have that date set. It's usually the first Thursday of the month.
Okay. so
But
early
that has
January.
to be approved by council, like the whole schedule for the year goes to council for approval. So
We don't have those, but we
Early
have.
January.
yes, it's usually the first Thursday of the
That doesn't
month.
make me feel as bad if we could like meet in early December. Of course, we don't have a park meeting before that.
No, you don't have a park meeting in December.
So our next park meeting is January.
End of January.
So that would give us from now till then for another committee to meet, or do we have to meet
the subcommittee meets, they
Oh, the
present it to
subcommittee.
us
in January?
in January, then it goes to the planning commission in February, because we
In
meet
February,
after the planning commission.
So our next actionable step is to do the subcommittee.
Mhm,
They meet by January, whatever, then we can all look at it again,
mhm.
right?
Yep.
That sounds like a little step back from what we thought, but we still, like you said, it's some hard dates, right?
And like Lisa was saying, it's not as if we're making changes in the parks between now and.
Right.
No, but it just feels, it
Yeah.
feels like every time we take 2 steps forward, every time I spend 3 hours writing a mission and vision, we are now presented with 3 other things we have to do. So
Okay, let me ask you this. Is there something that you would like to have happen so that you wouldn't feel that way? Like, is there a project that you would like to propose that you would want to move forward with?
I am like, as a profession, a project manager. That is my profession. I function by dates and I say, these are the steps we need to take to get this to move forward. And then once this moves forward, it follows this process and it's done.
Okay.
We have been stuck in, we don't know what we want from you for the last 1.5 years. and we've done every single thing that we have been asked of. And last meeting, we were asked to completely write a whole new guiding document for our commission,
Which will be included.
which we did,
It'll
but
be included.
that didn't get, but council didn't know that's what they wanted until the arts commission did it. And they're like, oh, we want the other commissions to do that.
So
So my frustration is I feel like we keep hitting the mark and then the mark moves. That's my frustration.
Laura, can I make it, can I give a little input? Maybe alleviate this. Maybe we need to, every December, you know, we go and talk to the city council about what we're doing. Obviously, this year we won't have as much to do. Maybe, maybe this is the point at that meeting when we have an opportunity to speak with the city council about what we've been doing, is to express our frustration
Yeah,
in a respectful and professional manner.
I feel like I'm being respectful and professional.
Yeah, but I don't.
Right, right. But I'd like to, it'd be nice to be able to move forward and do things, and we need to know that we're gonna not be spending another year.
What would be helpful for me, and I realize I'm not sure of other people's feelings, but this is my main feeling at this time. But as the vice chair of this commission, that's not gonna do anything beneficial. So I think if we can do what we were just doing, where we map out our timeline and say we need to meet these marks and move it forward so that it is all done, so that in the spring, we have done literally everything that we have been asked to do with the expectation that in the spring, we can move forward and spend the money and do some stuff. That's what would be beneficial. So if we can like finish out what we were just doing of, we need this done by whatever, December.
So who's on the so we need this, who's on the subcommittee? That's what we need to do.
we have Tim, Lloyd, Laura, Sarah. I'll check with Nancy. She may have an interest. Sue, do you? Ingrid, do you have an interest?
Sure, yes.
Okay.
You got 60 pages to go through. Is that what you're saying?
You know what, at a high level, I honestly, I was overwhelmed when I saw this morning and I realized that it wasn't apples to apples. And after a couple hours, when I thought about it and I looked it over, I think at a very high level, you can just say, this is missing from our original request, and this is why we feel it's important. Their approach, you will find, is, as she stated here in her email. Yep. Right. Oh, shoot, I lost my connection.
Or will you just like forward it to us?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that we can,
that way we can have that.
Yeah.
'Cause I can't.
and it is high level. It's looking at projects, looking at the park as a whole, and rather than, well, we want to add a bench here, we want to add a picnic
Yeah.
table here. So they're proposing and I don't mean this as a discount to any one of you here, because your values are very much appreciated, but they're the licensed architect
Yep.
professionals that have reasoning behind why they think we need to add that ADA sidewalk and everything else that goes along with it. So there's some validity there.
Sure.
What I will tell you, the price difference between the quotes that Public Works came up with and WSB, it was $2 million difference and
more.
and
Yeah.
WSB did not have some of the high level projects with the dollar amount. It was to be determined. But with that being said, I can tell you the last page here on the conclusion, it specifically states that unknown community needs and related costs will ultimately affect the overall prioritization strategy for implementation along with the actual available funding. So that right there, in my mind, compensates for any discrepancies and any discrepancies that come up along the way, because you will be approaching each project one thing at a time, getting quotes, you'll get real numbers. Right now, from Ron and Randy's construction experience, they threw out some numbers for the CIP plan. WSB does this for, I can't tell you how many cities throughout the Twin Cities, so their level, their numbers are a lot different. They've also included They proposed master plans for each park with a fee for that as well. So I hope you can approach this with an open mind and just know that the intention is to look at it as a high level, long-term project, because a lot of these things in here are, you know, even longer than the time frame that we had originally
So
spoke.
being the newest member of this group and coming in, where since I've come in, we really haven't done any actual stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's been stopped with COVID, and I get all that.
Sure.
So is what happened is that now they made this up now, and are we stuck doing their plans?
No, what happened, to make a long story,
Or is the option for the city guys could still do stuff?
I don't know that Public Works would actually be doing the work.
5 times the at least.
So,
We didn't have staff.
right,
The issue
So-
is Lisa can't do 8 people's jobs.
I know.
And so we had to
and what
defer
this
it.
started out as, WSB gave a proposal that had everything itemized from their professional level of how they typically handle a park improvement plan for other cities. Because Scott asked to keep it internally and asked me to take on the project, I got halfway through with this. And my approach, I have a graphic design background, but I'm not a licensed architecture. So I took the old one from 2012 and I started incorporating the text, the contents, updated the photos, updated from what your evaluations were. And then Brian, because I was getting nowhere quickly, in September, Brian said we can have WSB do the last portion of it where they updated the photos and they completed the remaining 50 pages, which was all of the projects, like the long-term, short-term project. So that's where we're at. So this is their idea of the long-term and short-term projects and the
This is just for us
implementation.
to use it as a reference.
Yes, it's like our comprehensive plan. So right now, what's happening with, along the years, a number of commissions and committees have compiled books like this and resources. Right now, our redevelopment master plan, some commissioners feel that is not in alignment with what was proposed 8 years ago. So they're reevaluating. They're saying, okay, let's take a look at what we had said. Let's take a look at what's been done and where do we want to go from here. So I think going forward, this will be referenced, but it won't be held to a T.
So the new subcommittee that just got formed, they're gonna take this and then they're gonna say, yay, nay, yes, no, this looks good,
Correct.
this doesn't.
Yeah.
Here's what we want to do as a
Yes.
park.
Yes. And as far as the pricing, I think that can be all over the board. What I think we need to communicate to the council is the fact that that's going to vary with each project as it comes along. And, the city policy is they have to have 3 bids for every project, and those processes and procedures will be followed. So they're not going to hold us to any of these numbers or the numbers that Public Works came up with. We're just trying to put something together.
And number wise, I can tell you as a contractor, they are fluctuating constantly in some areas more than others.
Right.
Dramatically.
Right.
Some places we can't even get.
Right,
And so,
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so-
Price is that like,
Yeah.
in 10 years, when we finally get this project, it says 26,000 and then inflation is now 2 million.
Yeah.
They're gonna say, well, we're not okay with that, because Illinois Park Plan didn't actually have dollar estimates in it, and that scares me a little bit too, just overall, because I know that one was really old and a little bit more whatever, but putting prices in here for 20 years out, it's like, shoot, it's
No.
Exactly.
What do you think the subcommittee time commitment is?
My
I
plan,
think 1 meeting.
my plan, or I guess my hope would be that we all individually go through it prior to the subcommittee meeting. On paper, make our edits and our notes, come to the committee meeting and say, here are our edits and our notes, what do we agree on?
Yeah.
And then it goes to, I think it's feasible to get it done by that December meeting that we're talking about.
Tim, do you have any comments?
Other than just be cognizant of the numbers on the committee, just so you don't have a quorum. The subcommittee.
Does he need more people on the
We
subcommittee?
need less.
Okay.
Can I ask, can I make a suggestion to the group here, since we have a quorum? Does-
Yeah.
Do we have, is anybody able to have a special meeting in
Yes.
December?
I am, yes.
We got December 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd, we close the Christmas. But
What are our rules around special meeting? We just have to have a certain amount of notice.
Well, we just turned it into a December meeting. That we already said no, we don't
And
want.
you've got your quorum.
Then we have a quorum.
Yes. Well, I personally would like to do that.
Then we wouldn't have to do the subcommittee, we just get everything done in
We can keep it
December.
on a Wednesday, right?
Yeah,
And we all agree that we come prepared specifically with our notes prior to.
and we call it, here's my suggestion is, if we're gonna call it a meeting, we gotta do roll call and approve them and
Yeah.
boom, boom, and public. And the only thing on the agenda is gonna be the
Yeah.
park improvement plan, and then we get old business, and then we won't have any reports, and when we get the reports from commissions, everybody will go, I don't have anything, and we'll be out of there.
So we have to make sure that somebody from the city can be there, right?
I can be there on the 15th.
You can be there on the 15th.
December 15th, a Wednesday.
Yeah, it'd be 6:30, and we just turn it into a December meeting that we usually never have.
Can you do that? Yeah, okay.
Can you
Yeah.
do it, Larry?
Okay.
Okay, we'll just,
And I'm gonna pencil it in, I don't know.
Lisa, do we have to, make a motion to change this, because we said we weren't gonna have this?
Yeah, I make a motion.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead. let's
I
just-
make a motion that we have a December meeting for the Park and Rec on December 15th, Wednesday, December 15th
6:30,
at 6:30.
second
Second that motion.
discussion.
Second, I'm sorry.
Sue seconds, discussion. All in favor, say aye. All opposed. Okay,
All right.
okay,
How
so
many people are needed for quorum?
5. And we got it. Then we could just boom.
Well,
And
for
that's-
the 15th.
And that's how and this is how I will run the meeting. Boom, we'll get through, and
Okay.
go all the way in, and we'll put one thing on the agenda, and that'll be park improvements. And everybody will hop, skip through all the other stuff. I'll make it official, but we'll hop, skip through.
And then
everything
it can go to planning the first week in January. Don't know that date. And then it can go to council mid-January.
I have a question. I look at, for example, on page 25, I see these little bulletin things where you've identified.
Carrie made also the PDF that's attached in the packet, which I'll email that to. Apparently, some people are having problems getting the packet, so I will email the packet. And it's the same thing. Those are Carrie's comments that changes she wants to make.
They're in the
They're-
PDF.
Yes, yes.
So once
Correct.
we have the virtual, then we can
Okay,
see.
I just wanted to make sure I could see
So
that.
this is
Yes.
really what they have anyway.
It is, well, Carrie added some grammar, yeah.
After they said that. Oh, in addition to that, I will add,
Go ahead.
one thing I want to say is in addition to that, I will add, I had Public Works Director and Supervisor review what we got today. And they made some comments. There was something, on, I think it was Colby Park, Colby Hills, that WSB had proposed a year ago, and I think they assumed that it was all done, but actually only a part of it was done. So I've got those notes to include, and then a couple other comments that the Public Works made as far as, like we added a bench. Things that were done this summer were not included because the,
Can you just make a hell of a note at the end with my spelled wrong on all of them? Like with the midterm in the back, I noticed it's MCNIGHT. It's right up front, but in the back, it's like, it's in like
Oh.
12 places is into.
okay, so probably what she added, so.
There's no little things underneath it, so I'm assuming it wasn't.
Correct, that Carrie only proved the first half that what I had done.
You just got it, right?
This
Yeah,
morning.
This morning.
Or just like a blanket statement for them.
Yep, and Carrie will go through it again for her comments, I'm sure.
Are we good on the update?
Yeah, we need to talk about Rotary Park stuff.
Okay, Rotary Park, unless you've got,
Need more?
anything new.
Other than I sent an email asking what their status is, if they're still down on production and not taking new designs. I have not heard back.
So that's where we're at with that. So that will be tabled till January.
Mhm.
Oh, that's,
And I could recommend that Jill starts researching for another vendor. The nice thing about this vendor is it's local. And that saves a lot of money on shipping. I mean, some of our shipping charges were hundreds of dollars.
and we'll probably be getting back to me shortly. But I'll let them know. I'll send them an email.
Yep, yeah,
We talked about it, and we're still waiting for vendors.
yeah. Oh, so let me ask, do you want me to have Jill start researching vendors, or are we gonna wait till we get an answer from Gopher
What do you guys
Signs?
wanna do?
Do you want to stick local or start researching? Right now, because of COVID, they are they're not taking any new designs. So they have existing standard signs that they've used in other, like St. Paul, all the St. Paul Park signs. They have in stock, and they could, have they? That I don't have the history.
Have
I
we
don't
asked
know.
Graphic Traffic?
Well,
They're my go-to for everything in the district, and Paul is phenomenal.
Okay, we can check, I'll check with
so
them.
you guys wanna check in on the other vendors?
Graphic Traffic, and they're local.
There we go.
Yep.
Now, for Graphic Traffic, would that, should we inquire about all of our signage, or just like the printed, like, do they actually have the big pillar signs and kiosks, and we'll probably have
I
to find
think
out.
they do the printed signs. I don't think they have the big kiosk, whatever.
Okay, and I know that's what Rotary Park is looking for.
Yeah, no, so for like our, yeah, printed stuff, he would be great at, and he's
Okay.
local, like you said. so.
Okay, we'll see, we can find out and talk about it in January.
Okay.
And he's the one who did the snowman,
Yes,
so.
yes.
Anything out of business? Oh, with it. Tim, you good with everything that's going on here? I want to get your input.
Sorry, I had to step away to take care of the patient. What,
You good with everything that's going on?
I walked away when you were talking about, additional.
We're gonna have a December meeting to go through the park and.
Oh, totally fine with that.
Okay.
I was there until you guys were talking about if you wanted to use local or somebody distant for a sign. So I was only gone for a couple seconds.
Old business, anybody?
I have some new business.
Okay, we'll, reports on staff, Kathy's gonna do it in January. Sarah, go ahead on reports.
Dates, okay, first, do we want to do the egg hunt, do we want to do the trail, the building reservations open to the public December 1st, so we just need to set a date in stone to at least preserve the building. I guess here's my hunch, like, it's hard right now, today, with how bad COVID is, to say we do an egg hunt in March, like, I think we look at alternatives, like maybe the end of drop or something like that, where we still get volunteers or something that's less involved. But the trick or treat trail could be a possibility of some sort if we want to just reserve a building for a date in October of next year. We would just want to set that today before then open up. But I just, and again, maybe we look at things differently and we do something different, but all I'm saying is we want to hold the building, like we want to hold it. So do we want to do that to, just wanted to get everyone's thoughts.
Easter's, April 17th.
It's April 17th, but I just, I guess it feels like for how much planning that goes into that event. Last year I brought up some ideas that like the Lakeville district had done, which was like people paid money and then people put eggs in their front yard, like they paid $20. And it was a fundraiser, and I think maybe we could tell it that way and try to get kids from the high school or other
Yeah.
people to volunteer to drop
Yeah.
eggs. And then we can fundraise with Splash or something else
Yep.
that's useful within the park. I just don't feel good about saying let's have 10,000 people at a park in April when we're the worst state in the country right now.
I'm equally concerned about fire and ice in January. Leaning towards maybe canceling it, with the way that rates are right now.
Do we want to say we might have some fall activity in October and just
Yeah.
hold the
Yeah.
building? Okay.
Yep.
Cause we
Let's
talked
do the
about like
building.
fall festival, like we've talked about a couple of different things, so hold the building for sure.
And do we use the building for music in the park?
No,
No,
we
we don't
actually
use
don't
it,
reserve
actually,
the building.
we don't reserve the building, do we?
But,
Okay.
Yeah, I thought we
No,
did.
we do, because
Okay.
otherwise, like a family could be having a picnic and want to be using the patio.
And
I think we do
bathrooms, right?
reserve it. Yeah.
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 Do we know where we're at with that?
Well, there's, no, that's kind of,
We can put it on the agenda for January.
Do you think we'll lose the spots?
There's a
They're
chance.
Thursday nights, yeah. Do you by chance have to know if NEA next year is the 20th and 21st or the 13th and 14th?
It's usually the 20th and 21st. I have a rough draft of the calendar, so give me a second. I
Yeah,
can find
I
it.
just, we've done the trail on the NEA weekend before, and sometimes it's good and bad. We get less people because a lot of people are out of town. But I'm wondering if we don't do the weekend of the 14th, just because it's middle of the month, we call it fall, if we don't do trick or treat.
is it too far away from Halloween?
Well, that's always been the debate, but the problem is if you do it the weekend of Halloween, it's everybody in there,
Yeah, that's
everybody,
true.
it's usually colder.
Mhm.
Honestly, it always
Mhm.
turns Halloween weekend, and then everybody's got everything going on that weekend. So the weekend before was always a little better, but then a lot of families, and we had a harder time getting people to do the booths because they were taking a family trip.
MEA, because that's MEA.
Yeah, I think she's looking.
I see.
So right now, the 14th of October will be off. And MEA will be the 20th and 21st.
I mean, do you guys think it's okay to reserve going the 15th? and
Yeah.
just-
Yeah.
Okay, let's just say
Because
October
there'll be a
15th.
fall thing and then.
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
say cops, students, we could figure out what it is.
Are you gonna forego the Easter piece?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I think
Yeah.
as far as
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
event in the
Yeah.
park, yes, I think.
Yeah.
If we do something like what I'm talking about, which we can talk about maybe in the January meeting. Because I think we'd probably want to do it in conjunction with an organization that's got bodies to help us at the school. Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
So do we need to take a vote on the fire and ice? Because I know the Arts Commission was hoping to piggyback on
I
our
can,
exhibit, but we can,
I can message Carrie. My inclination is to not have it. I know it's outside, but we're not as protected with vaccines as we think we are. And the
Okay.
last thing I want to do is have like an outbreak that we're responsible for.
so do we have to have a vote on that then or no?
Can you vote? No, it was just, I would say it was just the programming. Tim, I wouldn't think we need a vote on that.
Still like a big.
Yeah.
Because we're
not spending any money.
Okay. I'll let Public Works know as well, because they were going to do that rink this year specifically for that.
Okay. Do we wanna schedule stuff for music in the park?
Yeah, I've got those days.
Okay,
I'm gonna make a guess at those dates.
shoot the dates and then we'll,
June 16th. These are all Thursdays, June 16th, July 21st, and August 18th.
did Nancy ever pop into the meeting?
No,
Can you get a hold of Nancy and ask her to get a hold of Mike and see when Starbucks would be?
I think she told us.
That what it would be this year for 2022?
I would suggest doing it in September too, so we're not so close to.
True. Okay.
But we can
That's
We
what.
can check with Nancy and then reserve it before December.
Right.
December first? Yeah, December first, yeah. So
Is that on the program? We gotta-
who is requesting dates for, on behalf of the whole committee? Who does that? Somebody from the city?
Okay, I can, yep. So I have, let me just confirm, I have June 16th, 21st, and August 18th, excuse me, June 16th, July 21st, August 18th for Music in the Park. Star Watch is, you're gonna want the building in December 1st?
No, we have to ask, we don't know when Nancy wants
Okay.
to.
Whatever Nancy thinks she can get over with Mike.
Okay, and then you also wanted it on October 15th for your,
Trick or treat trail, we'll just call it. And those are all the Casey Lake building requests, so I know we've done things at housing too, but I guess we can figure that out.
okay,
So who is letting Nancy know that we need?
I can let her know as well.
Okay.
All right.
Anybody, any other reports? The only thing I got is usually we usually go to the city council, let them know what we've been doing. We want to do this year.
No, we were just
Okay.
lying.
Okay.
We were just
No.
going lying.
No, it's not.
Lisa, you can cancel that one for this year,
I mean.
the meeting.
It's
you don't-
not
do you want to
beneficial.
go?
Well, I don't know, unless you guys give me ideas about what you want me to say.
No, we don't
And
want
and basically, we don't have nothing to say other than,
Yeah, and there isn't a meeting scheduled, so
so,
that's fine.
okay. Anything else? Motion to adjourn. Oh, yeah. We got election of officers in January. We got,
Does anyone want to be the vice chair?
huh?
So does anybody want to be the vice chair? I'm joking. I mean, people are welcome to, obviously.
We'll just throw it out like we do every year.
Yep.
See where it goes. I mean, are you good with where you're at now?
Wait, I want to end this meeting longer than that.
Her eyes
You
almost
guys
popped
think
out.
about it. None of us are-
I'm a very passionate, involved person. Like, I care, I'm here because I care. So I'm gonna be like this if I'm a vice chair or not, so.
We'll channel that. I'll let you guys, all right, motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
All right, second. You're second, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Okay, Lisa, we'll see
You
you.
know, I can drop this in Nancy's mailbox.
Lisa, we'll see you in